I have analyzed over hundreds of workouts and let me save you your time. Most of them don't make you aesthetic. Why, you may ask? And that's because usually typical bodybuilders or powerlifters are training for different goals, which is either strength training or just getting as big as possible, or some even train just for endurance. But that won't make you look aesthetic and attractive. But in this video, I'm exposing the exact workouts that are currently wasting your time at the gym. And as a bonus, I will be revealing the only workout that actually targets the 7 aesthetic muscles. By the end of this video, you will know exactly how to train for maximum attractiveness. So the first mistake is workouts that are focusing on strength, which is basically 5 times 5. So basically people who do 5 times 5s, which means 5 reps times 5 sets. Usually people like this only get stronger. They don't really look particularly good or attractive. And that's because they only do compound movement lifts. They do the essentials like deadlifts, squat, bench press, maybe shoulder presses, but they don't target the 7 aesthetic muscles. They just target to get stronger. And the reason for this is because they ignore the isolation exercises. So for example, lateral raises, doing shrugs, doing some abs exercises for the lower abs, for example. But what we want to combine is actually doing both strength and hypertrophy training to get the optimal results for becoming aesthetic and the most attractive versions of ourselves. And I only share these advanced tips in my course. It is currently in pre-sale, but that's why the price will be the lowest that it will ever be. So go down, click the top link in the description if you're interested. So the second mistake is training like a typical bodybuilder or doing some splits like PPL or bro splits. The reason why these workouts are not optimal for aesthetics is because usually push-pull legs is too much training, because it is 5 to 6 trainings a week. Usually we won't really be motivated and consistent with doing this amount of workouts. Think about it. For the rest of your life, doing 5 to 6 trainings a week, I wouldn't have time for that. Like, I have other things that I want to do, like my hobbies, like table tennis. I want to be together with my family, my friends. I have so many other things, like my business as well, so which is YouTube. So as you can see, I wouldn't have time for that. So that's why full body works good for me. So, but if it works good for you, then you can do that. I just wouldn't recommend it. And the reason why it's also not so good is because usually people who do these kind of things just thinks about getting every single muscle group as big as possible, because they think the bigger they get, the more attractive and more respect they will get. But they will get respect from men, of course, but they won't get the attraction from women. The key to getting aesthetic is literally to just be consistent as much as possible. That's why I make it fun by training 2 times a week, full body. And if you want more secrets like this, where I break down fitness myths and how I teach you to be aesthetic, then I will highly recommend you to go down and subscribe to this channel, because here I teach you how to become an aesthetic Greek god, like I have achieved. So the third mistake is having RIR in your workouts, which basically means reps in reserve. So let me give you an analogy. So when we want to grow muscles, we want to break it down first, because if we don't break it down, we can't build it stronger. It's the exact same thing with a house. Imagine having a house, right? If you only destroy it a little bit, you can only fix some parts of the house. So it will only become a little bit more pretty, basically a little bit bigger or stronger, right? But if we break the entire old house down and we build it to a completely new modern house, it will look way more attractive and it will become way more bigger, right? So that's why what we want to do is that we want to go completely till failure when we train, maybe even beyond failure, which is where we implement things like drop sets, rest pause, health reps to go beyond failure. And basically training to failure basically means that when you do a set, maybe let's say you need to do 8 to 10 reps, you do the reps, and on the last one you are at 9 and it look like this, and you begin to go down, that's when you know you have achieved failure. And if you feel like you need to have reps in reserve, then it's usually a sign that you are actually doing too much volume. Maybe you are doing push-pull legs like I talked to you about before. Because when we are at the gym, we should be able to go to failure on every single set, on every single exercise that we are doing while we are at the gym. Like, I'm not even exaggerating, that's what I'm doing, and that's how I've been able to grow so quickly over the past year. But if you have injuries, then of course, then it's fine to use reps in reserve so you don't break down your joints even more, right? But Come on, are you injured? No, you're not. So stop being a pussy and train properly. This is literally what I teach inside of my course, and way more secrets like this. So again, go down and click the thumb link in the description if you're interested. So the fourth mistake is that you're training for muscular endurance. So you need to know the difference. 8 to 20 reps maximum is for hypertrophy, but if you go over the 20 reps, you are starting to begin to train for endurance, muscular endurance, instead of hypertrophy. So is that really what you want to do? Like, I just know some people doesn't know this, and they're like, oh, what? I thought like more reps were gonna be more hypertrophy. So like, it's just a quick tip that I wanted to give you if you were confused about that. So to know how many you should do, I would keep it between 8 to 15 reps, because I still feel like 16, 17, 18 is too many. And just do this amount of reps on the isolation exercises like lateral raises, bicep curls, etc. So the fifth mistake is not doing this workout that I'm gonna mention now. So I want you to train between 2 to 3 times a week doing full body. I do a lot of table tennis as well, like train 4 times a week. So I'm very fatigued most of the time and tired. So I don't have like the energy and the time to go to the gym like 4 times a week, which I still think is too much. So I would recommend for you to do 3 full body workouts a week, where you focus on the 7 aesthetic muscles, where you want to focus on lower the volume and increased intensity. Basically have maximum 5 to 6 exercises in each workout. Then what you want to do for compound lifts is that you want to do something called reverse pyramid training. Reverse pyramid training basically means that you start out the first set by going heavy, so 4 to 6 reps, then you decrease the weight by 16% in the second set and the third set. So in the second set you do 6 to 8 reps, and in the first set you do 8 to 10 reps, and then that's one exercise. As I said earlier, if you want to get this aesthetic physique and finally attract the girls of your dreams, then I would highly recommend you to go down and subscribe to my channel. These points were indeed important, but if you don't watch these steps in this video, then all the magic will be lost. So go watch that video right now. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day, bro. Mwah.